Law 1 of power. Never outshine the master. Picture this. The year is 336 BC. A 20-year-old nobody is about to walk into a palace full of killers and take the most dangerous throne on Earth. Every general in that room has spent decades on battlefields. They have murdered more men before breakfast than most people ever meet. They are waiting for one single excuse to cut the boy's throat and be done with it. His father, Philip II, the one-eyed warlord who just smashed every Greek city-state into submission at the Battle of Chaeronea, sits drunk and triumphant on the throne, surrounded by his veterans. Every single person in that hall is waiting for the prince to strut in, wearing royal purple, golden armor, teenage arrogance. They are waiting for him to break Law 1. Instead, Alexander walks in wearing plain black. No jewelry, no crown, no swagger. He drops to one knee, forehead almost touching the cold marble floor, and for a full 10 minutes he praises his father's genius so lavishly, so perfectly, that the old king actually blushes like a teenage girl. The generals smirk, relax, lower their guards. They think to themselves, this kid is no threat at all. Only Olympias, watching from the shadows with snake eyes, sees the tiny flicker of a smile at the corner of her son's mouth. Philip's guard drops completely. Law 1 has just been weaponized for the first time in recorded history. 2 years later, the wedding feast. Philip is marrying a teenage Macedonian noblewoman named Cleopatra Eurydice. A new heir is on the way. Pure Macedonian blood this time. Attalus, drunk on wine and power, raises his cup and shouts to the entire hall. Now, at last, we will have a legitimate king. The room freezes solid. Every eye turns to Alexander. This is the moment he could explode, draw his sword, start a civil war right there on the marble floor. Instead, he smiles the sweetest, most poisonous smile you have ever seen, lifts his own cup, and says slowly, deliberately, "Then let us all pray the gods forgive my barbarian mother, and finally grant Macedon the pure blood it so clearly deserves." The entire hall roars with laughter at him. Philip laughs hardest of all, slapping the table so hard the wine cups jump, tears streaming down his one good eye. 6 months later, Philip is stabbed to death in a theater by his own bodyguard. The assassin is killed before he can say a single word. Alexander, 20 years old, takes the throne. Not one army, not one general, not one city rises against him. Because every man in that kingdom still remembers the harmless boy who never outshone the master. But the story doesn't end here. In the next episode, how Alexander used the same Law 1 to fool the greatest empire the world had ever seen. And how, years later, he broke it himself and paid the ultimate price. Part 2 drops next week. Subscribe and turn notifications on. You won't want to miss what happens when the student finally becomes the master.